imagine waking up and, well, finding out the entire economic model of the internet has just started to vanish.
Right. It's a jarring thought.
It really is. I mean, for decades, the digital world operated on this very simple premise, You build a website, someone searches for your topic, they see your link, they click it, and they land on your page. The click was the currency.
Exactly. The click was everything.
But looking at our specific focus date of June 30th, 2026, that fundamental transaction is being aggressively rewritten. The internet isn't waiting for you to click anymore. It's actually reading the links for you.
Yeah, and it is a massive structural shift. I mean, we are looking at a living, breathing ecosystem that constantly evaluates its own utility. And the primary objective on 2026-0630 is no longer just directing traffic.
Right.
It is about resolving a user's intent instantaneously.
And to really understand how that actually works under the hood, we are dedicating this entire deep dive to a single, incredibly revealing source. We are looking at the SEO Daily Technology Report.
Such a great document.
It is. And this was compiled exactly on 2026-0630 by Keyhawk, which operates within the ASR bot fleet. Now, this isn't just a technical changelog for web developers.
No, not at all.
It's a comprehensive blueprint of how information discovery operates at this very specific moment in time.
Yeah, and if you want to understand the overarching theme of this report, it's this ruthless pivot toward user satisfaction, right? Interactive experiences, and above all, the deep, deep integration of artificial intelligence acting as the internet's ultimate middleman.
The ultimate middleman, I like that.
Yeah, it is. The Keyhawk snapshot from this date reveals a landscape that is just done with merely matching keywords.
Done with it.
Totally done. The systems in play on 2026-0630 are actively attempting to understand the semantic meaning behind a query. They synthesize multiple complex data sources and just deliver a definitive answer. It fundamentally changes what it means to be, visible online.
Okay, let's unpack this, because the most disruptive changes in the report really revolve around how users actually interface with search engines in the first place.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, the data shows that AI overviews, these generated responses that are natively embedded right there in search results, they're actively altering click-through rates.
Heavily altering them, yeah.
It feels like we've moved from the internet being a massive library where we have to hunt through the card catalog to a concierge desk where an AI just, hands us the answer on a silver platter.
What's fascinating here is the sheer engineering challenge of that concierge experience. And of course, the downstream economic impact it creates.
Right, because if I get the answer, I don't click.
Exactly. When an AI overview pulls data from, say, 5 different websites, synthesizes it, and provides you with a perfect 3-paragraph summary right on the search page, your intent is fulfilled. You have literally no reason to click through to the original source.
See, I'm putting myself in the shoes of a digital publisher here, and that sounds absolutely terrifying.
Oh, it's keeping people up at night.
I mean, if the AI is essentially plagiarizing my hard work to feed its own interface, why would I even bother publishing? Like, how do you even optimize for a machine that is deliberately trying to bypass your website?
Well, that is the existential question for digital creators in this landscape. And the report explicitly highlights the necessity of adapting strategies for these AI interactions. It's what we call SEO for answer engines.
SEO for answer engines. Okay.
Yeah, and you have to fundamentally invert your strategy. Instead of optimizing for a human to read your catchy headline, you're optimizing for a large language model's retrieval process.
Wait. Does that mean we're just going back to keyword stuffing? But this time trying to trick an LLM instead of a traditional search crawler?
No, not at all. In fact, it's the exact opposite.
Oh, really?
Yeah, an LLM doesn't care about keyword density. It cares about structured data, semantic relationships, and entity resolution.
Okay, you're losing me a bit with the jargon.
Fair enough. To get your brand or your specific insight cited by the AI, you have to format your facts so clearly and authoritatively that the machine recognizes your site as the foundational truth.
So holding its hand, basically.
Basically, yeah. You use specific schema markup. It's code that tells the AI, hey, this is a fact, this is a statistic, this is an expert quote. You are essentially feeding raw, high-quality ingredients directly into the AI's kitchen, hoping it uses your ingredients to cook the final meal for the user.
So you aren't even writing for the end user initially.
Not initially, no.
You are structuring raw data to convince a machine intelligence that you are the most reliable expert in the room, so it will then vouch for you.
Right. The battle is becoming the primary source for the AI. Because if the AI trusts your data structure, it cites you.
And if it cites you.
If it cites you, you get the brand authority. And, potentially, that highly coveted attribution link that users might actually click if they really want a deeper dive.
Which naturally leads to a massive paradox, isn't it?
How do you mean?
Well, if these answer engines are pulling from the web, and at the same time we have these massive generative AI tools available to churn out millions of words a minute, doesn't that just flood the internet with an infinite loop of AI reading AI?
Ah, yes. The spam loop.
Yeah. How does an algorithm actually separate a human expert from a bot just generating decent-looking spam?
You're touching on the exact tension defining the internet on this specific date. I mean, the barrier to creating average, mediocre content has dropped to absolute zero.
Right. Anyone can do it.
Anyone can generate 1,000 articles on any topic in an afternoon. But the systems evaluating this content are highly aware of this synthetic flood. The Keyhawk data from 2026-0630 specifically details rapid spam cleanup operations and continuous broad core updates.
Broad core updates, I always imagine those as a giant sweeping broom.
That's a good visual.
But from a technical perspective, what is it actually sweeping away? Like, how does it flag something as junk if the grammar is mathematically perfect?
Think of it less like a broom and more like a biological immune system fighting off synthetic viruses.
Okay, I like that.
The algorithm isn't just looking for bad spelling anymore. It's looking for a metric often referred to as information gain.
Information game, meaning, what new thing are you bringing to the table?
Precisely. The delta of new facts. If the algorithm crawls 500 pages about how to fix a leaky faucet, and all 500 pages use the exact same generic advice generated by a predictive text model, the system recognizes the lack of information gain.
It's all just an echo.
Exactly, it's redundant. The engine doesn't need to index 500 identical pages. It just needs one authoritative source.
So the algorithm is actively purging derivative fluff.
It is hunting for the anomaly. It wants a novel perspective, a proprietary dataset, a unique human anecdote, maybe a custom photograph.
Yeah.
It looks for the digital signatures of genuine human effort and original thought. Yeah, and if your content lacks that new data, the broad core update essentially renders it invisible. Originality is the ultimate currency on June 30th, 2026, because it is the one thing a predictive language model struggles to generate organically. It is literally survival of the most original.
So what does this all mean? If I am putting something out into the world, text on a screen just isn't enough anymore.
Nowhere near enough.
The internet is treating content like a digital theme park. If the ride isn't immersive, if it isn't mobile, if it isn't visual, people just walk away. And more importantly, the AI notices them walking away.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, you've just perfectly encapsulated this shift toward the experiential web.
The experiential web.
Yeah. We know the algorithm needs to filter out spam and find originality, but an AI cannot inherently feel if an article is good. It can't read our minds to know if we are satisfied. So it relies heavily on behavioral telemetry.
Wait, telemetry. So it's tracking the micro-interactions.
Every single one.
It's like, are we scrolling? Are we pausing to look at an infographic?
Exactly. It measures the friction of the experience. We call phenomena like pogo sticking into play here.
Pogo sticking.
Yeah, so if a user queries a topic, clicks your link, and then hits the back button 3 seconds later to choose another link, that is an enormous negative engagement signal.
Ouch!
Right. It tells the algorithm that despite your text being technically optimized, the delivery mechanism failed to hold human attention. The user was simply not satisfied.
And that completely explains the aggressive push toward video SEO mentioned in the snapshot.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I mean, a massive segment of the population just doesn't want to read a wall of text to figure out how to change a tire, you know? They want a 45-second visual demonstration.
And video is incredibly dense with engagement signals. The platform can measure exactly when you pause, when you rewind, or when you drop off.
It's all data.
All data. It captures nuance and generates measurable behavioral loops that text simply cannot match. On 2026-0630, ignoring multimedia visibility is essentially just opting out of the ecosystem altogether.
I would imagine that ties directly into how people are actually viewing those videos, which brings up mobile-first indexing.
Yes, exactly.
The report mentions a continued emphasis on responsive, mobile-friendly experiences. But honestly, hasn't the internet been telling us to go mobile for, like, a decade? Why is this a specific critical update right now?
Because the mechanics of how the index works have finally finalized that transition. Mobile-first indexing isn't just a suggestion anymore.
Okay, so what does it actually mean then?
It means the search engine's crawler literally renders your web page, simulating a smartphone environment before it ever even looks at the desktop version.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Before the desktop version.
Yes. So if your digital theme park looks incredible on a giant 4K monitor, but the navigation buttons are too close together for a normal human thumb on a phone, or the JavaScript fails to load on a mobile network, the algorithm registers your site as broken.
So it doesn't even matter if you have the most original, brilliant insights in the world. If the mobile crawler trips over your code, you don't exist in the index.
You don't exist. The entire system is designed to eliminate friction between the user's intent and the final answer. The user wants the answer immediately, they want it to be accurate, they want it to be engaging, and they want it to work flawlessly on the glass in their hand.
And if it doesn't?
If you introduce friction at any of those steps, the machine simply routes the traffic to someone else who built a smoother road.
Here's where it gets really interesting, though. We've been talking entirely about how users go out and search for content or how they interact once they find it.
Right.
But the Keyhawk report highlights an update to Google Discover that completely flips the traditional concept of a search engine on its head. You aren't querying the engine is predicting your interests.
It is the evolution from a reactive internet to a proactive internet.
Okay, break that down for me.
Well, a reactive system, which is what we've relied on for decades, sits passively and waits for you to articulate a problem into a search bar. A proactive system analyzes an incredibly complex entity graph of your behavior.
Entity graph, meaning it's not just tracking what websites I visit, but understanding the actual concepts I care about.
Correct. It maps the relationships between your habits. It knows you linger on videos about sustainable architecture. It sees you read articles about material science, and it tracks your location data.
That's a lot of data points.
It is. And based on that multidimensional web of interests, the Discover algorithm curates a feed of highly original, engaging content it calculates you want to see right now, essentially preempting your own curiosity.
It's highly effective, but honestly, it's a little eerie.
It really is.
It's the equivalent of walking into a massive library, and before you even reach the catalog, the librarian wordlessly hands you a book you didn't even know existed, but it turns out to be the exact thing you needed to read.
It feels like magic to the user, but it's just pure predictive modeling. And when you synthesize this proactive discovery mechanism with another crucial update in the report, which is language localization, the scale of this distribution becomes absolutely staggering.
Yeah, the report mentions tailoring strategies to optimize content in various languages to reach diverse audiences. But isn't that just running a web page through an auto-translator?
No. If you just run it through a basic translator, you introduce massive friction. Real localization, the algorithm is actively prioritizing on this specific date, goes much, much deeper.
How so?
It involves adapting cultural context, regional formatting, currency, and local idioms. It means the content resonates naturally with a native speaker.
I see. So the algorithm isn't just predicting what I want to read. It's actively sourcing the best, most original content from around the entire globe and delivering it seamlessly in my native language?
Exactly. The geographic and linguistic borders of information distribution are just dissolving.
Wow.
I mean, a creator in Munich could publish a highly technical, original breakdown of a new solar battery technology. If that content hits all the marks, it has high information gain, the structured data is flawless, the mobile experience is seamless, the Discover algorithm will pick it up.
And then it just pushes it out.
Right. It will localize that content and proactively place it onto the mobile feed of an engineering student in Kyoto who has a demonstrated entity graph interest in solar tech.
And neither of them ever typed a single word into a search bar.
Never. The competition for visibility is no longer just local or national, it is entirely global. But at the same time, your potential audience is the entire planet, provided you can prove to the machine that your content is actually worth a human's time.
It requires a level of technical and creative agility that is unprecedented. I mean, the systems cataloged in this report are infinitely complex, but their ultimate goal is actually very simple, a frictionless transfer of knowledge.
It's a great way to put it.
Every update, every spam cleanup, every shift toward video or mobile is just about systematically hunting down and eliminating any barrier between a user's curiosity and the highest quality answer.
Yeah, and that brings us to the core takeaway of this deep dive. Looking strictly at the digital environment as it operates on June 30th, 2026, the old playbook is dead.
Completely dead.
You cannot just stuff keywords onto a static desktop page and wait for traffic. We are operating in an aggressively agile, mobile-first, multimedia landscape. Artificial intelligence has fundamentally positioned itself as the gatekeeper, synthesizing answers directly and heavily punishing derivative, synthetic spam.
It really is a new world.
It is. The only way to survive is to provide deeply engaging, hyper-relevant, and stringently original content that is structurally optimized for a machine to understand.
So the next time you pull out your phone to check a feed or ask a digital assistant a casual question, remember the mechanics we've discussed today. The updates detailed in the Keyhawk report from 2026-0630 are the invisible gears turning behind the glass.
That's exactly right.
In fractions of a millisecond, they are evaluating behavioral telemetry, cross-referencing global entity graphs, filtering out synthetic noise, and deciding precisely which version of reality to present to you.
It's happening constantly right under our noses.
It really makes you look at that tiny screen in your hand a little differently, which leaves us with one final, slightly mind-bending thought to chew on based on all this.
Oh, let's hear it.
If proactive algorithms are building these massive entity graphs to predict our exact interests before we even articulate them, and if AI interfaces are instantly synthesizing the world's knowledge so perfectly that we don't even need to click a link, are we rapidly approaching a point where the traditional search bar itself becomes an obsolete relic?
That is a fascinating question.
Will we soon live in a world where the internet simply answers our questions before we even realize we have them? It is definitely something to think about the next time you open your browser.